What became so popular at your school that the teachers had to ban it? There was a game called Get Down Mr. President where everyone in an area would put their fingers to their ears like the Secret Service and the last person to do it would be tackled. It could start at any moment and would end up in a dog pile in the hall. I'm a teacher. A few years ago we had to ban applause. The kids would randomly start a round of applause and just keep going. It was unnerving. It was disrupting lessons, assemblies. Sometimes they would applause in the dining hall or corridors. Still don't know how this trend started or why. The other thing we had to ban was pilgrimage. They apparently learned the word in religious studies lesson. After that they would, in large groups, walk from one end of the school to the other chanting pilgrimage and basically knocking over anything or person that stood in their way. In elementary school my class was divided into groups, penguins and rats. We would always go to our group for team assignments, for games, for anything really. Somehow an actual rivalry started to sprout until the whole school was divided in these two groups, with first and second years getting into actual fights and stuff. Pretty soon the principal cancelled recess for a day and went to each classroom to tell us penguin team and rat team were banned. Others did create some smaller animal named groups after that, but they all dissolved pretty quickly. In Sweden we had this thing called BGHG, translates to gay pile. Acorns. My elementary schoolyard had several oak trees on it, and Dumbus kids would collect acorns and keep them in their desk. The problem was most of the acorns had worms in them which then escaped into the classrooms. When I was younger, we played this where you draw a circle on your hand, and other people would try to draw a line inside of it. If someone was able to draw a line in your circle, then you were out. The objective of the game was to be the last one standing. It was small at first, but eventually almost everyone in my grade became involved, and it spiraled out of control. Chaos. Pure F asterisk asterisk KING chaos. Kids were tackling each other, running away from other students, disrupting lessons, etc. Teachers eventually began to talk to us about how far our game had gone, and started banning it altogether. It was fun, while it lasted boys. Rulers. Year 10th in HS for whatever reason someone decided to smack a guy across the head with a ruler. Then everyone went out and bought a ruler. Suddenly everyone was a knight with a sword. Staff kept confiscating them, but rulers are cheap, so kids just went out and bought them by the handful. They ended up banning rulers at a school. The kids who were taking geometry that year and needed them had to be assigned rulers at the beginning of class and then turn them back in. Hair flips. Circa 2003, long asterisk SKATER hair was very trendy. Said kids were flipping their hair out of their eyes/face. An 8th grade history teacher went on a vendetta under the reasoning that hair flips pollute the air with hair dirt. Kids started getting detentions. We legit had a half an hour lecture in assembly because our year apparently said sorry too often. I'm English. People bringing in their Game Boy Color and playing during recess. Kids were getting mad they weren't getting turns and they were afraid of someone stealing games. Capri Suns. Kids were too stupid to figure out how to get the straws in, and teachers got tired of helping everyone. Non-clear lunch boxes. Rubber bands. Kids weren't even using them to shoot at other kids or otherwise misbehave with them. Kids would buy packs of rubber bands, tie the rubber bands together, making like a big rubber band chain. It became a contest to see who could get a chain of rubber bands to stretch the farthest. You couldn't find a pack of rubber bands at a store for probably 20 miles. This was when I lived in a small town, so there wasn't a ton of stores in that 20 miles. Amazon or even public internet access didn't exist yet. One kid got so many rubber bands, they could stretch it the length of the school building. While stupid, I didn't think it was a bad hobby as kids weren't shooting them or shooting stuff with them. It was all about how big of a chain they could make. School rewarded our pointless creativity with a ban on rubber bands at the school. All rubber band chains were confiscated on site. I was in high school when cell phones finally became accessible enough for most people to have one. It took about a week of senior year for them to declare that no phones were allowed anywhere on school property. Putting condoms on everything. pens, people's heads, arms, bags, shoes, smartboard remotes, baseball bats, clocks, balls, literally anything. The best bit was that the school gave out free condoms. They were fueling the opposition. After a week, there was a ban on condoms being out in public. Anyone seen with a condom that wasn't in their bag or blazer was immediately given a detention. Those little skateboards. Tech decks. In 3rd grade, a few kids got obsessed with the words cheese, FedEx, and camel. They said them all the time and those words got banned for the entire class. M60. When I was in 3rd grade, sunflower seeds were banned. I was told the teachers thought they were drugs. Our school banned hoodies. Their reasoning was that people can wear their hoods up to help with intimidating. A lot of the guys responded by wearing hoodies the next day with no shirts underneath, so they couldn't be told to take them off. When I was in elementary school in the late 90s, there was a fad where we would collect Absolute vodka and milk mustache ads in binders, similar to Pokemon cards. It was savage. Kids would bring in magazines by the dozens and just strip out the pages with the ads on it. School banned them because it was such a massive distraction. There was a kid in my high school who made probably around $500 in a month for making duct tape wallets. Administration found out, but didn't ban the wallets, just banned conducting business on school grounds. Clackers. They were two small hard balls on either end of a long string. You made them clack against each other, but the bullies would hit you upside the head with them instead. I'm old. We are only allowed to have 2 money for bus. If a teacher that even cares caught you, the teacher would be allowed to take the money and keep it. This was changed due to making it a crime. The kid that started a tuck shop out of his locker went to a wholesaler's, bought some stuff, sold it, used the profits to buy more, repeat and repeat, until he's now staffing a child guard to stop shoplifting and renting other people's lockers for stock overflow. Our classroom just became kids queuing to buy sweets and energy drinks. Sometimes a line so long in 15 minutes he couldn't get everyone waiting served. Then, bam, banned, no selling anything on school property. Pretty much just aimed at this kid. Dude ended up stabbing someone, got expelled. No idea where he is now, but think his shop getting banned and being replaced with an overpriced healthy staff-run tuck shop squashed his entrepreneurial spirit. I sold blow pops for $1 a piece. Everyone in the school was eating them and chewing gum. That was the end. Warheads. It grew to such an issue with these sour candies. Kids were organizing a black market where the kids with the highest allowance would buy them in bulk from the corner stores for a nickel each, distribute them to upperclassmen for $0.25 each, who would turn around and sell them to the final consumer for 50 cents each candy. There was even a barrier to entry. If you wanted in the business, you would have to eat 3 candies at once and not spit it out or throw up. UGIO. Used to be everyone would show up an hour before school started, and we'd play until first bell. Then some little **** named Tyler decided to wager one of his cards and he lost. He ran to his mommy crying about it, and then no more UGIO. ****KU Tyler, don't bet something you aren't willing to lose. Me and my buddies had a game where we'd draw a circle on the back of our hand. One person in the beginning of the day would have a marker and be infected while trying to get a mark on another friend's circle, rendering them infected as well. This would go until there were no more survivors that day, or until the infected lost and all that. Well, it eventually spread to everyone in our school in a matter of 2 days somehow. When I mean everyone, I literally mean everyone. I remember an announcement at lunchtime saying that if you had a circle on your hand you had to go wash it off in the bathroom or get a detention. Randomization. People would gather around a vending machine and chant randomize, and the person performing the ceremony would punch the keyboard and get a random snack. Edit. I think that the whole reason it was banned was because the mid-lunchtime chanting got disruptive and the administrators didn't want to risk students breaking the machine. I believe there was also cheering on receiving the snack. Rock paper scissors. People at my middle school kept playing a game called Oria, where you play rock paper scissors, and the loser has to do a dare. According to the teachers, it got out of hand. It really didn't. None of the dares were that bad. So they decided to ban rock paper scissors. Hearing that on the announcements in the morning instantaneously killed half of my brain cells. If you were caught playing rock paper scissors, you would immediately get detention. Dumbest thing I've ever heard. Edit. Everyone is saying that instead of dares, they just had to ask someone out. That is really what my school did. I just said dares because it was easier and I didn't think it mattered. When you lost, the winner told you a person and you had to go to that person and ask them on a date. For some reason my grade got really into chanting random words teacher said. We thought it was hilarious at the time. Anyways, so in the midst of this fad, one day in grade 12 pre-cal, my teacher finally puts her foot down, yelling no more chanting. And one kid in my class stands up and yells chanting, chanting, and everyone joined in. One of the highlights of high school. Those rubber bracelets that denoted different causes that were popular in the early to mid 2000s. We ended up setting up a little black market for them with people trading and different ones and having their arms covered to the elbows in them. Playing blackjack for nickels in the lunchroom. High school. Those of us dealing were cleaning up. Then later in the school year we just started again and the teachers kind of ignored it. I was making several dollars, maybe 10 on a good day. This was early 70s, so $1 equals about $6. 00 today. Gas was $0. 35 a gallon. Cig is maybe 50 cents a pack. When I was a kid our church banged pogs. Called it a form of gambling. All the parents decided to just get rid of their pogs. My dad was cool with pog, and he even machined a solid brass slammer for me. He talked with the parents, but couldn't change their mind on pog as it was a senior pastor who called for the ban. Long story short, all the church kids gave me their pogs, and I was now pog king at school. Bloody knuckles with quarters. 2 years ago, my principal banned slime. I'm a teacher. I was stockpiling all my confiscated slime to create the ultimate teacher slime video, but then the principal updated the rule and said that all slime was to be thrown away on site, so I threw it away. The stuff is oddly satisfying, and I get why the kids loved it so much. It's also not that helpful during class. Dice. Hacky sacks B/C of killer hack, where you had to successfully get a certain number of consecutive kicks/hits, and then anyone could catch it and whip it at someone. Yep. The numbers 212, 313, and 525. Couldn't wear them or talk about them. There's a Mexican gang that uses the number 13, and after the teachers found out about it, they banned wearing the number. Most of us thought it was stupid and a group of kids made a gang called 313, just for the hell of it. Another group created 212 to be rivals. It was all jokes, but apparently people were epping too hard, so they banned both numbers. To retaliate, the two groups then joined forces and created 525, 313 plus 212, which the teachers didn't like very much. Make sure to like and subscribe for more daily content. Thanks for watching.